Hey Fight fans, and welcome to the Title Sports Network News Update, your source for all the latest headlines in boxing, pro wrestling, and MMA. I'm Michelle Joy Phelps, and here are tonight's top stories. The man, also known as current WWE champion Becky Lynch, may potentially curtail her 8th title reign if she and the wrestling organization fail to reach a new contract agreement by the end of this month. Now, this development was initially reported by Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, who also reports that Lynch's husband and fellow WWE superstar Seth Rollins has reportedly signed a new monster-sized multi-year agreement. Now, on the April 22nd episode of Monday Night Raw, Lynch emerged victorious in a fierce battle royale, securing the championship belt left vacant by an injured Rhea Ripley. Now, competing against top-notch opposition such as Liv Morgan, Nia Jax, and Shayna Baszler, Lynch's triumph was surprising to some who expected Morgan to become champion. There's always been something between Morgan and Rhea, but the face-off will be delayed once more with Ripley's injury. As you may recall, Morgan was injured previously when it seems like the two were on a collision course. Now, if Lynch decides to leave WWE, the championship belt becomes vacant again, and the rumor mill is already speculating about her successor. Most notably, Liv Morgan and Nia Jax. Both have demonstrated their ability to get the crowd going, but Jax, in particular, has exhibited remarkable form since her return to WWE at Royal Rumble. Now, the question now arises, will Becky Lynch reconcile with WWE and retain the championship, or is it time for a new title holder? Speaking of returns from injury, you'll have to wait a little bit longer if you're desperate to get CM Punk back in action. Insiders like David Meltzer are reporting that Punk will return to the ring sometime in the summer, between July and September. The timing could work in his favor as he and Drew McIntyre continue to build up a headliner for a possible showdown at SummerSlam. As you may recall, the heat between Punk and McIntyre reached a fevered pitch when McIntyre immediately lost the WWE title after Judgment Day Chief Damian Priest, aka Senor Money in the Bank, cashed in on the briefcase and took the title away from McIntyre. In other WWE news, the King and Queen of the Ring tournament continued, with Jey Uso and Gunther advancing this week on Monday Night Raw, and a number of key matchups are taking place on SmackDown on Friday. We hear a new faction could debut during the King of the Ring finals. Now, is WWE trying to bury Bayley's title run? Well, not on Nia Jax's watch. Longtime WWE star Bayley got her long overdue title coronation at WrestleMania last month, and from the outside looking in, the shine is less about the champion and more about the newest stars to the brand. And it wasn't Bayley pointing out the lack of promo for the champ, but by co-superstar Nia Jax. In true heel fashion, Nia seemingly made fun of Bayley in a tweet, but when you think about it, she makes a great point. From her personal account, she tweeted, haha, another poster they didn't put dumb at. It's Bayley WWE face on, and she's the current champ. You can't help but wonder, why isn't the champ on the poster? If the powers that be are listening, show Bayley some poster love. She's a great champion. Now on to some MMA news. Conor McGregor's highly anticipated return to the UFC is set officially for June 29th, where he will face Michael Chandler at UFC 303. Now this bout, which will be contested at welterweight, marks McGregor's first fight since his devastating loss to Dustin Poirier in June 2021 due to a horrific leg injury. Now, this event will take place at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, coinciding with International Fight Week. In related news, a heavyweight match between former UFC champion Andrei Arlovski and Martin Buday, initially scheduled for June 15th, has been moved to UFC 303. Now, this shift aligns the fight with the high-profile card headlined by McGregor and Chandler. Marcel Dorff was first to report the news. In other Dana White news, it appears Power Slap is headed to Saudi. Now, SB Nation reports that White signed a lucrative new deal with the kingdom, despite not staging a UFC event there yet, and it's all because they wanted Power Slap. Now, Dana White said at the UFC St. Louis post-fight press conference, well, it all started with Power Slap. They wanted Power Slap. I got in there and started talking to them, and then we did another UFC fight too. And lastly, with some boxing news, who will be the next fighter to punch the Canelo Golden Ticket? Now, the International Boxing Federation, aka the IBF, is officially ordering the title to be defended against William Skull. Fresh off of a dominating win against Jaime Munguia, Canelo won't have much time to relax since the IBF is ordering him and Skull to come to terms in only 28 days. With names like Edgar Berlanga, David Benavidez, and Jermall Charlo leading discussions as possible opponents for Canelo, this announcement may surprise many. And it looks like the drama continues following the Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia fight. Team Haney has reportedly written an 8-page letter to the New York Commission asking for the fight against Ryan Garcia to be overturned due to PED use, prohibited use of IVs, and admitting missing weight was a tactic for an unfair advantage. Now, in the meantime, Garcia has maintained his innocence and is continuing his victory lap tour. In fact, he may be on his way here to Saudi Arabia, as he mentioned on his social media yesterday that His Excellency has extended an invitation for him to attend Fury versus Usyk. Now, there is no word when either of them will be back in the ring against each other, or really anyone else for that matter. But in the meantime, Ryan has been on a trolling frenzy, reaching out to everyone from David Benavidez and others for potential matchups. As I mentioned, it is Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk fight week here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and we have boots on the ground with all the latest coverage for the undisputed heavyweight championship fight. You don't want to miss our interviews with Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk, now available to watch on our channel. And for all the latest news on boxing, MMA, and pro wrestling, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss our weekly news updates and everything in between. I'm Michelle Joy Phelps. See you next time. Bye, fight fans.